All right, story time. You guys see this caption up here? It says loneliness. I'm going to tell you why I've been feeling lonely for the past 12 years. So, boom. I had turned 18 and something drastic happened. My brother, my baby brother, the one I took care of like my whole life, he ended up going to prison. It was like a whole situation. I went crazy. It drove me crazy because that was my baby and we've never been like really apart like that. I cut all my hair off and then I moved to Texas. I wasn't planning on moving to Texas for long because I was supposed to be getting married to this military guy, but that all went to shambles when I moved to Texas. So, boom, it's 2011. I moved to Texas with my sister and my nephew to my dad's house. So now I'm on my way back to San Diego for my brother's trial. So the DA and everybody, they pay for me a ticket to come back to San Diego for a day just because I said that I braid my brother's hair. So they wanted to include that in the case because they didn't have nothing on my brother. But so any little thing they decided to, try to bring up. So anyways, my dad lived in the country part of Texas, Brenham, Texas. I don't know if you guys know. I heard about it, but I love Brenham. It's just too small for me. So me and my sister and my nephew, we stay in a hotel in Houston so I can get closer to the airport. So me and my sister, we're at the McDonald's with my nephew, and I'm on the phone with my military boyfriend because me and him, we're supposed to be getting married in November. So anyways, a couple of guys come into the McDonald's and they're talking in their accent, the Jamaican accent, the Virgin Islands accent, the patois, whatever. So they're trying to get at us, but I'm on the phone with my dude because, listen, I'm supposed to be getting married. This is about to be my life now. Like, I just turned 18. This is what I've always wanted. So I'm ignoring these dudes. So then the dudes was like, okay, well, we want to see what y'all doing later, blah, blah, blah. So my sister ended up getting one of the dudes' numbers. So next thing you know, we in a hotel now, and the guys, they pull up, and they still trying to talk to us. Well, the guy is trying to talk to my sister, and then with the guy that was trying to talk to me, which is my ex-husband now, crazy. So yeah, so he's trying to talk to me, but I'm like, I'm about to get married. I'm not with that or anything like that. So I end up going to San Diego for a day. When I get out there, my dude is acting mad weird. Like, he's not talking. He's barely talking to me. Like, he didn't touch me. Like, nothing. So I'm like, okay, maybe he's mad because I left. But I told him I was coming back. I just needed to get my sister and my nephew situated and stuff like that. And then I was going to come back. So that happens. So while I'm there, a weird number texts me. So I'm like, who the hell is this? And he's like, hey, beautiful, blah, blah, blah. I can't wait for you to get back because I just want to see your pretty face, blah, 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 all types of stuff. So anyways, come to find out, it's the dude. My sister's talking to the friend, and then I guess gave my number to, which is my ex-husband now. So anyways, I get back, and I'm still not trying to talk to him or anything like that. My sister, she's talking to the other guy. So she's like, let's go over to their house before we go back to dad's or whatever. So I'm like, no, like, I'm good. Because one thing about me, like, I'm a closed off person. Like, I don't like to be around too much weird shit. So anyways, I end up saying, okay, just for one day, and then that's it. So I'm over there. My dude calls me, the one I'm supposed to be getting married to, military guy. He calls me and he's like, I know I've been acting weird since you got here and when you was here and stuff like that, but it was something I have to tell you. This mother freaker gets some girl pregnant. So now I'm up in my feelings. So I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, what? Okay, I'm good. I hang up on him. Never talk to that motherfucker again. Well, no, he hit me up because he was trying to apologize and all this other stuff. And then he hit me up a few years ago, too, talking about he wanted family. Like, boy, get out of here. Anyways, so now the guy that was trying to talk to me in Texas, he was laying on the couch and he kept trying to talk to me. But I was ignoring him. So I started crying because, like, I'm in my feelings. I had just turned 18. Like, everything that I wanted was coming true. I wanted to get married. I wanted to have my own little family. And so on and so off. So then, now, this is where it gets crazy. Don't know this guy for nothing. And this is why people need to learn who they are dealing with. Do not have kids with any and everybody. Do not do it. So, me and this guy, my ex-husband now, I go in his room or whatever, and then we do the grown up, blah, blah, blah. He says, Miss, you're going to have my baby. So I'm like, okay, you're a weirdo. Let me get the fuck up out of here. So I leave, and I go back to my dad's house. So I'm on my way back there. I'm throwing up. I'm doing all types of stuff. So I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Mad weird. So, anyways, my dad takes me to the doctor. Come to find out I'm pregnant. I'm freaking pregnant. So now I go back to Houston, Texas, or whatever, and I'm telling him, I already told him before I was on my way there, but so he's like, okay, well, I always wanted a baby and this and that, so we're going to try to figure it out. And me, I really wanted a baby when I was younger. I'm going to tell you guys that story another time. So anyways, so me and him, I'm pregnant. Come to find out he has a girlfriend. The girlfriend wants to fight. He started being abusive. My brother's in prison, calls me while he's in prison. Me and the guy is fighting in a hotel. So my best friend had to drive down to Houston. She was living in San Antonio, to come pick me up. She come pick me up. I ended up going back home for my whole pregnancy. So boom, now I have the baby. And the same girl that was trying to fight me at the gas station, the girl that he was talking to, puts him in jail the day that the baby is born. So he gets out and he's like, oh, I have a question. Some guy called me saying that that baby's his and he's been in the hospital with you and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. So I'm like, what? He's been in the hospital with me? I said, the only people that's been in the hospital with me is my dad and my mom. So what are you talking about? I'm like, anyways, I don't have time for this. I just had a C-section. I'm a first-time mom. Like, my life just changed, and didn't nobody have time for that. So then, so I'm like, all right, well, just ask him where's the baby's birthmark at, because she has a really big birthmark on her body. Tell him to tell you where it's at. So he calls back, and he's like, oh, she said, well, the guy said it's on her back. I said, now let me tell you, I'm going to take a picture and I'm going to send it to you and you tell me if you see a birthmark on her back. So then he's like, no, come to find out, the girl had her brother call him and pretend like she was some other dude dealing with me because she was jealous that I was having a baby, and I guess she was pregnant by him and she had a miscarriage or whatever the situation is. Crazy psychopath girl. So I'm like, anyways, I don't got time for that. Like, this whole pregnancy, like, it's just been too much. I don't have time for that. I'm just going to save my ass in San Diego, blah, blah, blah. So now he's begging me to come out there. So, back to Texas. So I'm like, all right, I'll go back to Texas. I go back to Texas, to San Antonio, and I stay with my friend. I end up getting my own place. It's like a whole thing. Like, he's fighting me. We're arguing or whatever. I get pregnant again. I have a miscarriage. I have, my blood type is Rh negative, so I have to get like the Rogaine shot. Like, I have to do all types of stuff. So I was feeling sick. So I tell him, he moves back with the same girl. He moves with me when I moved to San Antonio, and then we fight or whatever. He moves back to Houston with the girl. So now I'm calling him like, you have to come get the baby because I'm not feeling good. I got to go to the hospital. I'm not feeling good. So then this is crazy. So then he comes with the girl. After this girl then said that she wished my baby died, she wished this, she wished that. So anyways, I'll walk up to the window and I'm like, listen. So he thinking I'm about to fight her. She thinking I'm about to fight her. So she barely rolls down the window, all this mess she was talking. So I'm like, miss, listen, whatever me and you have going on, that's between me and you. Do not take this out on my baby, please. Or whatever. So if you love him, then you love my baby. Treat my baby like she'll be yours. So she's like, okay, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, that was that. He started texting me, he missed me, we get back together. So then, when we get back together, we start fighting and shit again. So I moved back to San Diego. He moves to New York. So now this is where, when I say, do not sleep with people that you do not know, because this is when I really, 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 really start to get to know this man. So I'm in California. Now the baby's like 3 months and stuff like that. So he calls me and he's like, come to New York. You know, my family's out here. We're going to be fine. You're going to build our family together. We're going to get married. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. So I'm like, okay, cool. My whole family's begging me not to go. Please don't go. Please don't go. But me, I always wanted a family. So I said, okay, I'm going to go. Go out there. Come out here to New York. Blizzard from California with some cut up jeans and a little sweater. Listen for part 2, because baby, it gets crazy. Horror story, crazy. But this is why I've been so lonely, but I've been staying because of my kids, only because of my kids. Part two on why you should know the person before you start hunching them. So, boom, me and the baby, we leave San Diego and we come out here to New York. So, the time that we come to New York, it's like a blizzard out here. Like, it's the coldest, I guess, it's ever been in New York in years. So, I come out here with cut up jeans, a little sweater and stuff on. Like, I've never been to New York, and he wasn't really telling me what was going on. How cold it was or whatever the situation is. So anyway, so we get up in the car and it's just so weird. It's awkward. So then the sister, she goes and she says, "So where am I dropping you guys off to?" Excuse me, miss. What? So she says. So he says, "Huh?" So she said, "Where am I dropping you guys off to?" So then my ex-husband, he goes and he says, "Oh, to the hotel by your house." What? I'm confused. So then the sister's husband was like, "I'm not dropping her and the baby off to no hotel or whatever, blah, blah, blah." So she's like, "Well, it ain't no room up in the house because, they have their whole family and stuff living there." And so like, I'm so confused because this whole time I'm thinking that he lives by himself. Because he's like, "Oh, I'm home." And every time I talk to him, like, it's nobody up in the background, blah, blah, blah. Come to find out, he was staying in his brother's room. His brother was renting a room, and the brother was letting him stay there, which was not fittable for me and a baby because it was a whole bunch of guys that live up in there. The bathroom was dirty. Like, it was just a fucking mess. So anyway, so we get to the house or whatever, and this is the first time I'm meeting his family. And like, this is like, they found out about me when I was pregnant. But it was just like so much drama and all this other stuff. So like, I talked to the mom on the phone plenty of times. So this was the first time I was meeting her. So my baby, she's crying. She remembers her dad from yelling and screaming all the time. So every time she see him, like, she's crying, she's screaming, like, around them. She's crying, she's screaming because she don't know them. So then, boom, that was that. Um, so then the baby stays with them, and then me and him go and we stay in that room that his brother was renting out. So we're in the room. I'm like, "So what are we doing? Like, what's going on?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna figure it out because I thought, my family was gonna help." And I said, "How was it gonna help? How did you figure they was gonna help if you didn't even tell them that we was coming or ask them? You should have asked them ahead of time. Oh, I just wanted my family here and da da da." Okay, sir. You still should have told me. You should have told them. We're all lost in the freaking sauce right now. Like, it's too much going on. So then I go back to the house, and the older sister, she's there, like the whole family. Like, so yeah, so the whole family comes, the sister comes. I stay there for like a few days. Then now I'm up in the car with the older sister, and she's like, "Okay, well then you guys will just have to go to a shelter." Shelter what? Shelter who? So now, like, I'm really going crazy because it's like my family begged me not to go. And I went on my own, and I was like, "You know what? I want my family. Like, from a kid, I always wanted a family, my own family and stuff like that. So I'm going to stick it out." And then my pride was just out of this world. I couldn't call my grandma and my mom and all them and tell them, like, "I came out here and it was bad. I'm coming back home and so," because I kept going back and forth, back and forth. And this time I was like, "You know what? Like, I'm not going back because they said that it was going to be bad, and I don't want to prove them right." So we go to the shelter. It's a family shelter, and those people, it's called Path. Those people are freaking rude as heck. Oh my goodness! Like, people are coming there for help. Okay, I get it. New York City is a lot of lazy people, so they grew up in the shelters and stuff like that, and they be trying to play games, but they were being so freaking rude. They're gonna tell me that wherever I was staying when I got here, I need to go stay back with them, and I said, "Well, they have a 2 bedroom, and it's like 7 of them living up in the 2 bedroom." So they're like, "Oh, well, you can just pull out the drawer and put the baby and let the baby sleep in the drawer. The drawer, put like a blanket and stuff and let the baby sleep in there." So I said, "Excuse me?" So she was like, "Yeah, you can put the baby in there. It's safe." Like, when I said, I was literally crying. Like, we was there for days. They the whole day we was there. We couldn't bring food into the place. Or anything like that. Like, we had to sit there and wait the whole day. So if we didn't get called within that day, they put us on a bus and they take us to like a hotel. and then early in the morning they bring us back. And then we sit there all day, starving, thirsty, hungry, everybody arguing, everybody fighting. It was just traumatic. So, anyways, they end up placing us in a well, they was like, oh, he couldn't come because me and him at the time wasn't married. We didn't have a domestic partnership. Like we weren't married. We just had a kid together. So they were like, oh, well, he can go. You can come to the shelter, but he can't come. So now, like, I'm scared. I don't know what's going on. So then he ends up coming with me to the shelter that they had put me in. And the shelter was so freaking dirty. It was nasty. My baby was crying. Like, it was just a lot. So then, yeah, so now, like, we're going out to eat and stuff like that. We go to Times Square. And this is the first time me and him gets into an argument. I've been there for like probably a month now. So now we're in Times Square. I don't know New York City. I don't know anybody. Yeah, I don't have nobody. I don't know anything. Like, I'm just a lost little duckling at this point. So he leaves me and the baby in Times Square. He leaves us in Times Square. So I'm sitting here and I'm crying. Like, and this lady, she walks up to me and she's like, oh, are you okay? Are you lost? Like, what's going on? And this and that. So I was trying to tell her, like, I don't even remember where the shelter was at, honestly. So anyway, it took me hours to figure out how to get back to the shelter and stuff like that. So then he leaves me up in the shelter for a few days. Like, he don't talk to me or anything like that. So then he finally comes back over, and we're in the Bronx. So we're outside and it's pouring raining. And again, he leaves me and the baby in the freaking rain. So I end up meeting one of my closest friends now, Marky. So Mark was like, do you want to ride? Like, do you want me? Like, are you okay? Like, are you and the baby okay? Like, do you need a ride? That's not. But my pride, I'm like, no, I'm okay. My pride, and because I'm in a relationship. So I'm like, no, I'm okay. Okay. So I stayed up in the freaking rain, drenched with water, with rain. So that was that. So then, like I said, he just kept leaving us in the shelter, and then not speaking to us for days and stuff like that. Then finally, like, we're at church, and I'm the type of person, I don't ask anybody for nothing. So if I don't have it, I'll just go without and just do what I have to do. So we're at church, and his sisters and everybody, and I love his sisters because his sisters and his mother or whatever, they helped me so much. And the reason why I'm who I am today, a nurse, is because his older sister. But I'll get to that part. So anyway, so we're at church, and mind you, I lose so much weight. Like, I'm so freaking skinny. I'm gonna post a picture too. I'm so skinny. So we're at church. After church, they're asking me, like, do you need anything? Do you want anything? Like, is everything okay? Blah blah blah. So I'm like, no, I don't need nothing, because at this time I was just whatever you guys can get for my baby, that's all that matters. And they did a lot for my baby. So he's like, no, look at her bra. She needs bras. She needs underwear. She's washing her underwear out in the sink, and she's doing this and she's doing that in front of everybody. In front of everybody, like, the everybody at church, they're all outside. Like, when I say I was so embarrassed, so he's like, so his sisters was like, stop, like, why would you say that and this and that? He was like, well, she needed it. You guys asking if she needs something, that's what she need. Like, she need this and she need that. When I say embarrassed, so freaking embarrassed. So anyway, that was that. So it was like constant shelter